Welcome to Top 10 Archive. Decaying corpses, dizzying heights, and being on the brink of death. Hard to believe, but those traits are the norm when it comes to these careers. In this installment, we'll look at 10 of the scariest jobs on Earth. Do you have what it takes to work at any of the places on this list? Number 10. Arachnologist. An arachnologist studies what are arguably the most hideous and terrifying creatures on Earth. No, we're not talking about the cast of Duck Dynasty. We're talking about spiders. Fear of arachnids frequently ranks among the most common phobias found in people. That might be because arachnids are gangly, fanged, clawed, eight-legged monstrosities that trap and feast off of butterflies, caterpillars, and even birds. The good news is that arachnologists aren't limited to the study of spiders. They also study scorpions, ticks, and mites. Number 9. Undercover Agent. At least this job doesn't deal with hideous creatures. Well, it depends on the case. Undercover agents put their lives on the line infiltrating cartels, mobs, and terrorist groups to grab vital information that saves lives. It's noble, but it's also scary because you're putting your life, as well as your friends' and family's lives, in jeopardy. One wrong move, and it's over. Number 8. Rodeo Clown. This one's debatable. Is it scary or just dumb? Dressing up as a clown, running and jumping inside a ring in the hopes of pushing a 2,000-pound or 900-kilogram beast to charge at you? Despite being relatively safe if using the proper technique, it's not unheard of to fall down and get trampled or gored by the bull's horns, such as the case of Manuel Laureano Rodriguez Sanchez, who in 1947 was on his 5th bull of the day when he made a slight mistake that allowed the bull to gored Manuel in the leg, later dying from his injuries. Number 7. Hollywood Stuntman. This is a fitting follow-up. Movie and TV stuntmen deal with towering altitudes, fiery explosions, and hard punches so that billion-dollar stars and starlets who earn 100 or 1,000 times more cash don't have to deal with a couple of scrapes and bruises. That's, of course, unless your name is Jackie Chan. Are we the only ones who find something wrong with this? Is 40 grand a year really worth facing death for every day? Many actors and stuntmen have died on set, including Harry O'Connor during the movie Triple X, Brandon Lee during The Crow, and Art Scholl during a flight stunt on Top Gun. Number 6. Hurricane Chaser. What's scarier than flying around a storm? How about flying into one? Hurricane chasers pilot specialized aircraft to gather critical data about extreme weather systems, which helps scientists to better predict the course and scale of these monsters of nature. But that doesn't cancel out how scary it is flying into the vortex with winds moving at 150 miles or about 250 kilometers per hour. Winds at that speed don't just pick up your car, it shreds it to pieces. It takes more than a scientist to do this job. It takes an adrenaline junkie. Number 5. Broadcast Tower Specialist. Broadcast towers can span over 2,000 feet or about 600 meters in height, which makes it all the more shocking when you consider that, at some point, someone has to climb all the way up there when something goes wrong. You don't need to have acrophobia, a fear of heights, to be terrified by the prospect of climbing these towering structures. Among the worries tower specialists faced every day are birds, lightning, and, on occasion, planes. Thankfully, fatalities are not as common as you might think. According to Wireless Estimator, between 5 and 20 climbers die annually in the United States alone. Okay, so it's safer than we expected, but that doesn't make it any less scary or sane. Number 4. Miners. What's more scary than ascending a broadcast tower? How about descending down a narrow tunnel deep into oblivion? That's precisely what miners do, contending with toxic air, limited oxygen, no sunlight, and an occasional collapse with a slim chance of survival. Miners work in tunnels almost 2.5 miles or a little over 3 kilometers long under the Earth's surface. Worse, mining remains one of the deadliest jobs in the world, with thousands dying in accidents every year. China alone reported over 1,000 fatalities in 2014, and that was a good year. This job is so bad that it was used as a form of criminal punishment in ancient times. Number 3. Bomb disposal. Watch The Hurt Locker all you want, but there's no way to glamorize the job of bomb disposal. Now, we're not going to toss around tasteless, unfunny phrases like "the job is a blast" or "is the bomb." Oh, wait, sorry. One wrong move and you and everyone around you are goners. Bomb disposal is a crucial job in both law enforcement and the military, especially for the latter, since the bulk of the casualties in the war with Iraq were from roadside bombs. Number 2. Infantrymen. Even after 5,000 years, mankind has yet to ease the job of the infantryman. Grunt, hoplite, legionnaire, they've gone by different names in different eras, but they still do the same thing: rush into the midst of deadly combat. The frequent images of street-to-street, building-to-building fighting remind us that, if anything, this job's gotten even scarier as the field of combat has become more complex and urbanized, with enemies blending into the civilian population. Number 1. Forensic Entomologist. Hate being around dead bodies? This one's a doozy. A forensic entomologist has the wonderful job of digging through the flesh of rotting corpses to pull out and ID the creepy, crawly creatures inside. Those creatures, which include maggots and spiders, are helpful for determining the time and circumstance of a person's death. It's hard enough to be around a cadaver, but we find being around one that's already well into decomposition totally unbearable. It has to be one of the most gruesome careers out there, but forensic entomologists have had a crucial role in solving mankind's most serious and enduring crime, murder. It's a respectable job, it's a valuable job, and it's a terrifying job.